special. Let all that we are become the life that we share. And let's create a world that's built on our love. Let's create a world that's built on our love.
Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode. I call all of my episodes exciting. Another exciting episode of the Marriage is Better Together podcast. We are super happy. I wanted to say excited again. I'm just excited. I love podcasting.
We made it, y'all, another episode.
Listen,
so that's huge for us.
Here, we rocking. Is that?
So, we told y'all we was gonna be here. 2026 is hitting different already. This is episode 2 of season 3.
Welcome to February.
Hi.
February's love month. Which is always exciting in our house. So we do a whole lot around love. So, welcome you to February and welcome again to the Marriage is Better Together podcast. Thank y'all so much. The outpour of love last week for my first episode has been crazy. So we're super excited about the continued build and excited about you being here with us along for the ride. So follow us on all social media outlets at Marriage is Better Together on Facebook and Instagram. I found out that our TikTok name is Tarver Marriage.
Why?
They wouldn't let me do Marriage is Better Together or something like that.
All right.
So
we
it's
Tarver
Marriage on TikTok. But you'll see the branding and stuff like that is on the
maybe
pictures,
we should change it to Pattern Marriage. Maybe they'll let us change it to the Pattern Marriage.
I'm trying to keep those two things work together with it being us. I want the podcast and the coaching program to be separate.
Okay, so, that's cool. That's cool.
I didn't want to use the branding for that.
All right.
But
So we Tarver Marriage on TikTok.
Tarver Marriage on TikTok. Follow us. Again, you'll see the videos and stuff like that, so you'll know that it's us. And then YouTube is youtube.com/@marriageisbettertogether. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, as y'all were last week. Keep it going. Keep rocking. Y'all are doing amazing. Let your friends, let your followers know that we are here and that we are excited about this platform and what we're building. Yes. We want y'all along for the ride.
But we're consistently
building,
because that's our word for 26. Consistency. Yes.
Hey, 26 is a really beautiful year. And for us, I would say it's like somewhat of a catch-up year. Not that we haven't been doing a lot of stuff, but we are kind of going and getting some of the things that God has really placed on our heart to do over the years,
right? And
kind of bring everything into the now. So this is our go get it year. Let's say that, not catch up. Go get it year. So we're really going after all of the things that have been in our heart passionately to do, like this podcast. As y'all know, we started this podcast back in the pandemic in 2020. And obviously, with the ups and downs, the life, the movements, the ebbs and flows, if you will, but now we're here, like y'all said, consistent. The coaching program, the Pattern Marriage is available. So y'all, if you need those services, hit us up, DM us and stuff like that, and we'll get things going. But we're super excited.
And soon you'll be able to go to our website, but not right now.
Yes. Super excited about this episode. One thing I do want to mention right before we go into the episode is the rebranding for the Marriage is Better Together podcast. If y'all seen, we got new pictures up, new pictures on our social, new pictures for all of our profile pictures and things of that nature. Shout out to Simone Webb and Perfect Symmetry.
Thank you
for getting our brand looking like what it needs to look like, so we look like we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, and if you need any of those services, you can reach out on all media. I think she is under a Perfect Symmetry. Symmetry is CYMMETRY. Yep. So that's super cool. We're super excited about that. So, babe, what we got on the docket today?
So I'm gonna be looking down at my phone, y'all. So I'm here with y'all, but I'm here in my phone too. I got my notes. So today we are gonna be talking about why being equally yoked is not enough.
Interesting.
I think, Christians, right? When we are in our season of finding or looking to be found, it's okay. Man of God, woman of God is the number one thing on the list. And when we find that, I think a lot of times we get so excited and so happy to have somebody who loves the Lord the way that you do, that we allow that to be a green light and we don't stop at other necessary points to check to see if we should be moving forward with these relationships.
I would even say, like, I personally, just from what I've seen over the years and kind of some of the conversations that I've had with people who are even considering the concept of being yoked, if you will, a lot of it is just around, do you go to church?
Yeah. Not even if you love God like I love him.
Not even considering like what level of do you go to church are you on? Because some people are just, for some people, church is a thing where you just show up because it's a religious thing. It's been in the family for the longest. So we just gonna show up.
Right. You're just doing it like out of tradition at that point. Yeah.
But that doesn't really mean that we are all on the same level of pursuing God or even loving the Bible or anything of that nature. So
yeah, I think we have run into over the years, like people who don't find out that their spouses are not real Christians until after they get married, because I know you laughing because you be in a whirlwind, right? Like, oh my goodness, he in church, he go to every week. She, woman of God, she got her Bible, and then when you move in with a person, you start to see what their convictions are, and you start to see, we're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna talk about compatibility and conviction. So I don't want to jump ahead.
Just before you move, because this is the thing. I do want to qualify when we say real Christians, like what we mean.
Yeah.
All right. Christianity is not contingent on church attendance.
Right.
I'm sorry. I feel like a preacher. That's
on church attendance. But no, that's true.
Christianity is not contingent on whether you go to church or not. Like, you just showing up for service does not make you a Christian, just like you showing up at a bank don't make you a millionaire.
Right.
Right. There's work. There's specific things, there's specific pursuits, certain care that goes into that lifestyle that I believe that if you're listening and you're in that space where you're looking right now, it's something that should be considered
right
in your choice. Not just do they come every week. Where are they serving?
Right.
Aspects of their heart are actually being shown, and when they show up to church.
Or I'll even say, especially with the millennial demographic, because it's a lot of us, we don't go to church no more. They say millennials don't be at church, but church be packed out with millennials now. But I know, the saying that millennials are not going to church. So then you have people that say, oh yeah, I believe in God. And it's like, believing in God and having a relationship with God, two different things. But if we are going, on the equally yoked topic, it's like, yes, this person is spiritual. They pray, they believe in God, and that's cool. But when you are talking about joining your life together with somebody, it matters that y'all are on the same level of doing these certain things.
That's
right?
real. That's real. And we just laying that for baseline so that y'all understand on the equally yoked side of things, what that could look like.
Right.
But for those of us who are,
yes,
or for the people who have figured out that portion of it, what we're trying to let y'all know today is that's not enough.
No, it's not.
So much more that even goes into it. And if you're still trying to really, really want a deeper dive into the equally yoked thing, I believe season 2, I think it was, we did one that was specifically about like
equally yoked. Y'all can go find it.
Y'all can go and check that out, and they kind of give you all the information you need. But today, like, we want to get down into the depths of compatibility,
convictions,
and your convictions,
and maturity. So those are the 3 topics we're going to talk about today.
And last one, that's the monster.
Yes. So let's start at compatibility, because I think a lot of people mistake compatibility just for like chemistry. Like, do we gel? Do we get along with each other? Do we like being around each other? And that's cool. But it's like compatibility is the ability to move in the same direction without a lot of friction.
Yeah.
That's not to mean that friction won't ever happen. But if you are not able to move in peace and in the same pace, at the same timing, and in the same direction with minimal friction, then the chances of you having a successful marriage start to dwindle when compatibility is not there.
I think people struggle when it comes to like the compatibility side of things, because it's like, okay, cool. We think compatibility in our immediate is like, okay, yeah, we both like to go skating.
Right.
But it's like going skating ain't the thing that's going to serve you at the moment where tension does come up. Because that's where I really feel like compatibility really gets proven, not just in when we kick it out, we having a good time, but when we aren't seeing eye to eye, how do we get to a consensus? And like, it's in those moments, like when the rub is there,
right?
Like, that's when our ideals start to come into play.
Right.
How do we get from the space of I'm seeing you, I'm not necessarily agreeing with you, but because we're like-minded in certain ways, we're able to get around whatever this little obstacle is.
Right. I think like compatibility is more than do we like the same type of movies.
Yeah.
It is our lives moving in the same direction. I said that already, but I was thinking while I was talking. And so me and Isaac are compatible on many different fronts.
A whole lot.
But I think that one thing we understood early on is that we are church dwellers, temple dwellers, if you will. Like, we understood early on that our lives would be ministry, right? We're a ministry family now. We did ministry individually before we got married. And so getting married, we understood that we were compatible and that we understood how our time would be spent.
Mm-hmm.
We understood certain things about our upbringing that we wanted to replicate, things about our upbringing that we did not want to replicate, because we had the same type of ideas about how our children should be raised. Okay, so let's talk about compatibility factors as far as Christians are concerned. The number one thing that we run into that's problematic in marriages is money.
Yeah.
Money is a mess sometimes.
Yeah.
And it stems from not being compatible, right? And I'll throw convictions in there too, but we're going to talk a little bit about that later. Mm-hmm. Compatibility and thought. Is our money both moving in the same direction? Right. Because it would be a mess if you believe in tithing. Say I'm a tither and Isaac is not necessarily convicted by tithing. Mm-hmm. How do we work in a marriage?
Yeah. How do we, like, in that topic, like, opens up and blooms into a lot, because it's like, yeah, tithing, or, you know, what's first when we talk about budgeting? What matters the most to us? You know, some people is like, okay, once I get my check, the first thing at the top of the docket for me is my side money,
right?
Play money.
Pay me
like,
first.
Whoa. You know, it should look, in my opinion, there should be a little pause to say, okay, let's take care of what's necessary first. But some people care more about, you know,
personal gratification.
Then they care about, like, the other stuff or what other people would consider to be the necessities.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that can cause differences in understanding, or can cause rifts when you're not financially on the same wavelength.
Right. Another thing is parenting style. Compatibility and parenting style matters, because if you are not aligned in that, it is something that can rob your marriage of peace, because there will be constant friction.
Absolutely.
About how the children should be raised, how they should be disciplined, how they should be discipled. Because, I mean, one of the things that we had to have a serious conversation with, we both spent so much time in church as children, lived under the pews. And it's like, do we want that for our children? Are we going to make them be present for everything that we choose to be present for? Right. Because we understand our space. Are we going to get a babysitter sometimes and leave them home? Are we going to take pause in this thing that we feel committed to and feel called to take our children in a different direction? And does that mean sometimes somebody got to stay at home?
Yeah.
And what does that really look like? But because our viewpoint was aligned on that before we had children, we didn't struggle when it came. And I stayed home many a times with the kids, because it's like, if I know that my our value system, now this is where conviction come in. We had certain convictions about our children having a certain type of lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't want every Saturday morning, evening, afternoon and evening to be in church, because I know they're going to be at church all day on Sunday, right? So if Isaac has something to do on Saturday, or is some type of ministry obligation on a Saturday, we make it our business to make sure that the kids be at home, because I don't want back-to-back bangers like that. And that's just one of our own personal convictions. But imagine if Isaac was like, no, every time the church door opens, I don't care what the event is, whether they got childcare or not, them kids gonna be there. That creates an argument. That creates a disagreement about something that's very vital, like you thinking about children being reared.
Yeah. And then for y'all parents out there to be cussing at y'all kids, I know y'all don't be cussing. Y'all Christians, right? Y'all be cussing at the kids, but stuff like that. Like some people feel like when it comes down to discipline, there should be an excessive nature to it, or maybe whatever may be. Certain people lose their emotional wherewithal when it comes down to discipline, and then it's like the other parent could be like, I don't think it takes all of that.
Right.
You know, it's 2026 now. We got the what's the
gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting concept that's going out or whatever like that. So some people like, I got whooped and it raised me well. And other people like, no, you have to consider the emotional standpoints. And I don't mean to put that in a voice.
I mean, that's what it gives. But I'm a gentle parent ish.
So it's like, those types of things and how they both exist in the world, like can be the make or the break.
Right. I think another thing or a topic that goes into the umbrella of compatibility is how we spend time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So our time and our priorities, like how free time is spent. Because I used to be the type of person that did not necessarily believe in free time. It's like when we don't have something that we're set to do, it's something else that needs to be set to do. But I used to be a workaholic too. So Isaac really had to have conversations with me in our premarital counseling and say, hey, this is how you are now. We need to come in alignment so that, because we were not compatible in that way. Yeah. Isaac was a firm believer in free time, and the free time looked like lounging. It looked like chilling. I'm trying to chill.
I'm chilling.
Okay, Isaac was a pro at chilling, and I was really a busybody. So we came together before we got married, actually, in our premarital counseling, and talked about viewpoints, really, because I had convictions about laziness and these really false ideas that inaction was laziness or idle time. And so we had to come and agree on that because we were not compatible in that way.
And even like your investment time. So when I say investment time, I mean like work, things of that nature that you're actually getting something out of. You have to know, like, and be aligned in what it looks like to be able to give the time to that's necessary.
Right.
Because there's some
give an example of that.
There are some people who, because their job is their livelihood and they're so invested in making sure that the resources there and stuff, they don't have a cutoff for their work day.
Right.
So they'll go into the office, work 9 to 5 and come home and work 2 or 3 hours. Or like, even if it's not work, like you come home, but you haven't taken work off.
Right.
So now you carry in either the emotions from work, the thoughts from work, and things of that nature. If you're not taking the proper time or being considerate or aligned in what that looks like, because your spouse don't want you to go to work, have work, and then come home and bring them to work at home.
Right.
They want to be able to get you and you freely, your mind, your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, like them be able to enjoy you without the weight of what you just dealt with from 9 to 5. But for some people, it's like work is always there because bills are always there. And it's like, that don't really work in every
way. And I think what you're talking about ties into another thing under the umbrella of compatibility, and that's decision-making style.
Yeah.
Like, where do we place honor on certain things? So you're saying this person in the example would really honor and value the ability to make money. And so if the decision-making styles are too different, not saying that there cannot be variance, but really when it comes to decision-making styles, you have to be in unity, because if my spouse is not making decisions in the same way that I'm making them, we're not comfortable with it, it causes an uncomfortability.
Yeah.
So if I am really like, decisions need to be made upfront or beforehand, and say Isaac was a person that is passive decision making and I'm aggressive decision maker, I could feel like he not doing enough and he could feel like I'm doing too much.
Right.
That's the number one phrase. Besides one other phrase, I ain't gonna say it right now. So this is the number 2 phrase that we hear in marriage, premarital relationship counseling. They doing too much.
Doing enough. Or she doing too much.
He doing too much.
Yeah.
She not doing enough.
Yeah.
He not doing enough.
And that sits in a lot of different areas.
It spans all the areas. But that comes from a difference of decision-making styles. Yeah. So how you handle something, I don't think that you took the bread out right, because you ain't do it in the way that I take the bread out. Or you wasn't willing to talk to your mama the way I'm willing to talk to your mama. Or you didn't want to go and talk to pastor the way, or we at the school and I'm down to teach the throat and you like, oh, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You cannot be too different when it comes to making decisions, or you have to agree. Maybe in an individual setting that does not involve the two of us, maybe with your friends, if you want to have a different decision-making style just amongst your, and I won't even say that, because when we talk about decision-making skills, we talk about our honor value system. Because if I don't set a certain honor value system when I'm with my friends, when you experience my friends, it could go awry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like if I let something fly over here, then they come to the house and it's like, oh, that's what y'all do.
That's what
you know what I mean? That's how y'all talk to
Yeah.
each other, or that's how you interact, you know, differently. So I won't even say that it can be different in other spaces, because then that causes you to be two-faced, double-minded, and really a stranger to your true self. So yeah, your decision-making styles, your honor value systems, all of those things fall under the umbrella of compatibility.
And and all of this is not to say y'all have to think exactly the same. But it is important to have the proper discussions to make sure that how to make sure you're able to see how the thoughts work together, how they fit into one world. Like what we usually encourage our coaching clients to do around big decisions like that, or around life, is say, hey, actually have the conversations to say, this is how I would approach this, or this is my thought. And I make room to ask, what do you think?
Right.
So that when the two people, when y'all come together, you're not caught off guard by this moment or this thing that's popped up. And now I'm making one decision, you make another decision. Right. It's like, what are we going to do? And now I'm upset. It was like, we could have beat that if we had sat down and had the conversation to kind of come to an understanding to say, okay, I see how you process, and be willing to say, I think we should go with your process a little better, a little more.
Because it's like you're always gonna have to compromise in a marriage. Let me say that. When you, where's the camera? Is it here? You are going to have to compromise in marriage. Compromise is absolutely, positively a necessity in marriage. Now, whether we are compromising to one view, another view, or coming together and creating a completely different thing, a compromise is going to have to be made somewhere.
Yeah. There's no getting away. There's no getting around it. You have two people, right? Yes. According to the scripture, yes, spiritually, the two become one, but it's still two brains, two minds, two sets of emotions that are dealing with one life.
Right.
And when that's the case, you have to find a way for the two worlds to work within the space together. So if they look like, let's go with my way. Cool. I trust you enough. Let's go with your way. They look like, let's go with your way. Yeah, cool. I trust you enough. Let's throw both of our ways out
both
and
of
come
them
up
trash.
with a new way.
Okay. We had to come up with a lot of new ways.
Yeah.
But you know what? The benefit that we have as being Christians, those that call upon the name of the Lord, is that we have the Holy Spirit. True. And we can ask the Holy Spirit, what decision is going to be best? What is the way that he was doing it right? Is the way she doing it right? Or do we need to come up with a whole nother way that you're going to guide us into in your truth? Yeah. What is the true way that we are supposed to be doing this?
And this is where I believe convictions come in.
Yes, absolutely.
Because what you believe, what you stand firmly on, is the thing that is pushing those decisions, that's pushing those thought processes, that's pushing those life movements or life skills, if you will. And when you have proper convictions in place, then it's much easier to be able to say, I used to do it that way, but I see why you do it the way that you're doing it. And based on our joint conviction, this way seems better.
Right. I think like the things that we were talking about, like church involvement, child rearing, even like how money is spent, those are things that ultimately are a reflection of conviction, right? So generosity. But I want to say this too. I think that along with that, the misconception comes that because we both love God and we both following God, we're going to have the same conviction.
That's not true.
And that is not true. All believers do not have the same conviction. I'm going to say it again. All believers do not have the same convictions, and that is not okay. Now, I am not talking about, I don't feel convicted when I get drunk. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about convictions as far as like generosity, value systems. Every family is not going to value going out of the country every month, but it might be a real conviction for a family to say, one person say, hey, I really feel that we should be exposing our children to, different parts of the world. And that's their conviction. But if y'all not coming together about those types of things, like generosity was a big conviction thing for us, right? I struggled with generosity. Isaac,
talk about it.
Isaac is a very generous man, and I love you. I love you for your generosity.
And now I do want to say this, because Teresa she's generous. She's extremely generous, and generous in ways that I was not. Because for me, like, I'm willing to give. I'm willing to give when I see that, hey, it's a spot to fill right here. Somebody needs something. Hey, got some time. Here, I give you some time. This, that, and the third. But I literally watched Teresa take money out of her pocket to give to poor people in a way that I was not exposed to. And that was my
only generosity.
That wasn't an adjustment to see the only way that I was generous. Like, when people when people absolutely do not have, like, I think just based on how I was living and what I seen or whatever like that, in my years in church, I got taught to see when people are like in a moment of need.
Okay.
Right. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, something's going on. Hey, let me just jump in or whatever like that. Right. Or I'll wait. I usually, like she said, I'm generous. And it's just because she sees me
what
give.
I mean.
I most times when I'm generous, it's like the Holy Spirit be like, do that. I'll be like, all right, cool. Because at other spaces.
Now, and here go. And I'm glad that you said that, because when I said that he was very generous, I was not talking about money.
No.
My husband will be the first person at a place. He will be the last person at a place. He is going to walk everybody to their vehicles. He gonna make sure everybody got some food. He gonna make sure everybody got a coat, and he gonna take his coat off and give it to him. He gonna go outside, gonna shovel the snow, all of that. I'd be like, no, here's some money. Pay somebody to shovel the snow, and y'all call me when y'all get to the car. Let me know that y'all made it home. All right. Isaac want to give people rides and pick people up from places. I was not generous with my time. Yeah. At all.
And it could where those, I guess it really don't even matter where those things span from. But yeah, it's just different kinds of generous.
So that was a problem in our marriage, because I was ready to go home, and I did not care about Miss Geraldine making it to her car, because tell her son or her nephew to come here and get her. Because Isaac, that was just how he was. And so we had to come to a consensus.
Yes, we had to find
on where we're going to place the generosity with money. Because now I did go overboard sometimes. I have $300 on me and have $0 when I got home, and I only went one place. So Isaac, like, did you just give away $300? Did you just give away our light and our gas bill? I'd be like, I just felt led. And he's like, you can't
just a blessing.
If I give you the bill money, you can't get away with the bill money.
Can't get away with the bill money. But we wouldn't be, so it was for us, we had to kind of find a spot in the middle. So if I want to take Miss Geraldine home, and we take Teresa's thought process, you know what? Let's send Miss Geraldine home in an Uber.
Let's give her Uber. So I can go home and take my clothes off and go rub my legs together in the bed. I don't want to get home at 8. We don't know nobody named Miss Geraldine. Because I'll be ready to go home, And so with that example, we had different convictions in different places, and we had to come to a middle ground.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't feel burned every time he wanted to volunteer to be somewhere late and early, and he didn't feel burned when I took $500 out my purse and gave it to a woman of God in the store.
And now I'm all for $500 blessings and stuff like that. I'm all for $1,000 blessings.
Not past. I do realize how out of order I was, because there was a time where money was not bountiful, and I was passing it out. Yes. So we did have to regulate that.
The principle stood true.
Yes.
Money was always
I gave
there.
And it was given back. But we had to work
stewardship and wisdom.
Stewardship and wisdom.
And proper alignment on our convictions when it comes to generosity and things of that nature.
I think another conviction that's not talked about is repentance and forgiveness. Because it don't bother some people to walk in unforgiveness.
That's true.
And that is a pitfall in relationships in general.
Yeah. I mean, especially as a married person. Repentance and forgiveness for those who have been married longer than a year are the superpower of successful marriage, in my opinion. Not because your spouse after you, or not because, but generally because y'all are walking together. And naturally, somebody's going to be looking ahead, and because y'all walking together, somebody might step on somebody's toe.
Yeah.
you have to be prepared to say, I apologize. And you have to be ready to posture your heart to receive someone's apology.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking about brush it off, let it go. Talking about receive that apology, forgive them in a way that it's not lingering, the way you're going to say, this the second time you stepped on my toe. But in a way that from the godly perspective, it's like, I love you enough to put this in position to say, all right, that didn't happen.
Let me say it this way. I love you enough to allow that transgression to be blotted out.
Absolutely. Clean the slate.
I am going to give you another chance to change your behavior, to do a different thing than what you just did that offended me. And that is where the last piece comes in. Emotional maturity. You need to be equally yoked. You have to be compatible.
Yes.
You have to have same convictions. But you also want to find a person that is emotionally mature or at your same level of emotional maturity. When you are not with a person that has the ability to, I'm gonna say it from an uneven standpoint, right? Say you have one spouse that's, has a low emotional intelligence and a spouse that has a high emotional intelligence. The person with the higher emotional intelligence is always going to be burdened by the person with the low emotional intelligence. It's going to create resentment. It's going to create over time hatred. And people don't believe that hatred existed in marriages, but it does. And not necessarily hating the person, but hate what they've become and hate the situation that they're in. So it might not be like, I hate this person.
Down to the point where you hate the person too.
But they definitely will hate the situation or the way that they're positioned because of the person, right? And so it becomes this weight that the more emotionally mature person always has to carry. But then on the flip side, when the emotionally mature person is being emotionally mature, the person with the lower maturity level does not have the capacity to receive what they are actually getting.
And then they take advantage of it.
And they're not seeing it for what it is. And so then it does not even really benefit that the emotionally mature person is more mature because they are going to drag you down to their finite level of emotional immaturity.
Emotional maturity shows up in how you communicate. Emotional maturity shows up in how you respond, how you react. Emotional maturity shows up in how you handle literally just your day-to-day. Right? Because you'll experience things outside of your marriage, outside of your house.
Right.
If you don't have them emotions yoked up, if you don't have them emotions under control, that stuff will spill into the house. And now your whole house is just all over the place and nobody knows what's going on. Because nobody has processed it or nobody's been able to take it and say, okay, you're off emotionally. What's going on with you?
And I'll say that emotional maturity dictates how you heal, right? So how I'm healing, not from even something maybe that's happening in our relationship, but something that's happening in the outside relationship. And so if I don't have the ability to heal from this friendship that I had, right? Friendship went wrong and now I'm wounded. If I do not have the emotional maturity to actively heal those wounds, now I'm projecting in my marriage. And I'm bringing an outside wound, lack the maturity to heal from it. And now I'm projecting off to my husband.
And that's the worst place you want to be.
Yes.
That's the worst place you want to be. Because how does a spouse respond to something that they have no fault in?
Right.
They have literally no fault in. And then if you're really on a really low level of maturity in the area, you don't even know how to express it and what it is that you feel.
Right.
You don't know how to even say to them, hey, I'm struggling.
Right.
Everything can't. And sometimes you are working through words. You're trying to figure things out. And it's okay sometimes to say, hey, I'm feeling some type of way. But at some point, every answer can't be, I'm just feeling away.
Right.
It's got to be, hey, I'm upset. Hey, I'm frustrated. Hey, I'm feeling this, that, or the third. And why? So that the two of you can work together to help either pull you out of that space or find whatever resolve is if the rift was between the two of you.
Right. But that's accountability.
Yeah.
People that don't have emotional maturity, They lack accountability.
Yeah.
They lack the ability to be held to a certain standard or the expectation that you are going to have to give an answer for how you emotionally regulate or the lack thereof. Right.
Yeah. Or even the self accountability.
Right.
Because sometimes like for some things, it shouldn't take somebody walking up to you and say, hey, you there's something going on with you. You should be able to readily recognize, hey, I'm off. Hey, I'm I'm processing something or whatever it may be, because you being able to do that yourself helps you to arm your spouse to go to them and say, hey, I'm working through something. I'm feeling the way because this happened and I'm having a hard time really getting over it right now, or whatever the situation is. Then they can, sometimes at that point, they become a sounding board for you to be able to work through those thoughts, for you to be able to have those conversations. But if you just locked up and you just don't know because you don't have the like you said, that emotional wherewithal, regulation, and the ability to be self-accountable to what's happening. Right, then you really can. It's almost no way you can climb out of this pit.
Yeah, emotional maturity also dictates how you grow.
Yeah,
and if you grow or how defensive you are. Like, so defensiveness is something that I feel like we run into so much. It's like a person that puts this wall up, they feel justified in being able to do so because they don't want to grow up. They don't want to face, the bad, or they don't want to come into the out and experience all of the negative things that come along with whatever their experience is. So they just decide not to. And that is emotional immaturity. So long story short with this, do not go and get a grown baby. Leave them grown babies where they at, because you're gonna be dealing with problems. Yes, they believe in God.
Yeah.
Yes, they go to church. Yes, all of the things can check off. But if every time something comes up, you don't want to be accountable, can't nobody talk to you, you triggered by everything. Trigger is just the word that's just off the meat, right? It's off the rich. I'm triggered. Okay, how are we gonna work through the triggers? Right. What are you gonna do about the triggers? Right. How are you gonna process your triggers so that we don't have to stop life every time something trigger you? That's a grown baby. Do not.
Yeah.
For your sake, for your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Do not marry, date, spend time with, waste time with a grown baby.
Because y'all could be cute on paper. Y'all could be cute in pictures. You be cute at the dinner table. But when life comes and life not cute, how do we process?
Right.
And that's going to come down to, that's going to really show what did we check them levels of accountability? What are our true convictions?
Right.
And what's that emotional intelligence level?
Yeah. And I'll say this last thing too about the emotional intelligence, because a person can have like the right jargon for it, but it's going to show in how that person handles things. Like, these are questions that we asked each other before we got married to see if we were on level with each other. How you act when you get angry? What's your coping mechanism? How do you handle disappointment?
Absolutely.
How you handle being sad? Different than how you handle moments of grief.
Yeah.
What are you doing? How do you process? Because if your thing is, oh yeah, every time I get mad, I go out back and I break some plates, there's gonna be something that you say, do I want to be going buying plates to get broke? Because that's how she handling things. Or if I just shut down, because you have people who say this, y'all. And if you ask the right questions, you're gonna get the answers that's gonna show you how much of a red light you need to be stopping at. I just shut down, I just go put my headphones on, listen to 3 hours of that. Don't work for real life. That does not work for two people that's together. Let's both of y'all want to be left alone for 4 hours to go and listen to your rock music every time somebody disappoints you or offends you. That's cool. Then maybe y'all are compatible and y'all can go be two grown babies together.
Why it's gotta be rock music?
Because rock music.
Why they can't go? I know that I can't.
Nobody listens to gospel music when they mad. Who? I don't know nobody listens to gospel music.
I used to listen to Kirk Franklin when I was mad. It's
really?
Emotional. Okay.
Okay. No, that's strange. No,
but so this is a good spot because we had a listener question come in that wanted to know, how do we handle arguments or disagreements? They said arguments. But so you want to chime first, or you want me to go first?
I just want to make the difference between arguments and disagreements, because we don't argue in our house. We disagree, but arguing gives that loud and
it's over aggressive.
Aggressive communication. And we don't communicate with each other like that.
And
we
I would say
not to.
That's one of the first ways that we decided that we would address arguments is by making sure that arguments aren't arguments. If we disagree, then we disagree. But that mindset in and of itself disarms the strength of I'm gonna lose it on you.
Yeah.
Let's sit down.
We got to be into it because that's why we don't do be into it. No,
like one of the mindsets that like let's just say this: arguments are based in a mindset. It's a heart posture.
It is.
It's a feeling. So one of the things that we did firstly was put a proper thought process around the situation. Meaning this, for us, what it looks like when we disagree is when we disagree together. Meaning that the thing that we disagree with is opposite of us.
Right.
So we don't allow disagreements to get between us. If you want to look at it from a table perspective, we sit on the same side of the table and we put the disagreement on the opposite side of the table.
Right.
So now we're looking at what we're disagreeing about and working through it or working on it
together.
But the two of us remain together.
Right. I think that's what happens so often. People sit on opposite side of the table. Like I'm on the side of the table with my perspective and you on the side of the table with your perspective. But it does not have to be like that. Like you have permission to sit those opposing things on one side of the table.
Truly.
And you sit in solidarity with your spouse on the other side of the table to say, I am not going to separate from you because of these two thoughts or these two situations that don't come together.
Yeah. And sometimes you just got to ask yourself, what's more important?
Yeah.
What's more important? Is this thing big enough to where we can't sit together? Like, there's nothing in the world that me and Teresa can talk about that we can't hold hands while we talk about it.
Right.
Nothing. And I don't care how frustrating the situation is.
That's true. Like, and that have been tested. We've been married for 12 years and sometimes you squeezing that hand, but we hold that hands.
And that is our way to show, hey, whatever this is that we are working through, we're working through it together. It's never me versus you.
Right. Another thing that we set in place. So we don't yell, we don't argue, we don't raise our voice, right? All of those things are signs of emotional immaturity. Because if I cannot have a conversation with you, like I can have a conversation with my husband as an adult, even if it's something that I'm passionate about, even if it's something that I'm hurt, disappointed, what have you, whatever the emotion. I always figured it like this. Like when I'm mad at work, I've had, jobs in the past where I didn't agree with a manager, didn't agree with a supervisor or boss. I never went to my boss and snapped on them just out of respect.
Because I want the job. Even if I don't technically won't respect you as a person.
No, I'm saying I respected them for their position.
That's what I'm saying. But even if you struggling to respect the person, most people will say, I want this job. And you respect the job enough to treat them a certain way just so that you can keep the position.
True. And so I figured that if I can express that outside of my house, then why not inside the house? Absolutely. Like Isaac is the person who means the most to me in this world. And with me deciding to join myself with him as one, it would be counterproductive to tear him down or to disrespect him, because ultimately I would be tearing down and disrespecting myself. So in times of disagreement, I don't allow myself to disrespect him, because when I mess up, I don't go in the mirror and point and say, Teresa, you stupid, you tweet. No, I don't talk to myself like that. And so I'm not gonna talk to my husband like that. And
and that is just the way that's the way we approach it. That's the way we encourage you to approach it. Find ways in where you can talk or discuss through things that you may not agree on in a way that still honors the marriage, still honors the covenant, still honors your spouse. And I promise you'll find that you can get past most of this stuff. What we lose is allowing emotions to get too high, allowing the situation, whatever it is, to become too powerful. And letting anything come to diminish our agreement or our covenant with each other. Like there's nothing that exists in the world.
Right.
Nothing at all.
And we have a question like, why are we doing this about things that we disagree about? Like if it's a disagreement, I'm thinking something petty, like Isaac want to go somewhere I don't want to go. So we in disagreement, like I really think we shouldn't go. And he like, yeah, I really want to go. So we've been, having our back and forth. He giving his reasons, I'm giving my reasons. We put the question on the table. Why are we doing this? What's going to be the benefit? And we tally up how this benefits the marriage or how is a disadvantage to the marriage. Because if we're gonna be into it about it like that, we just take it off the
Just
table.
don't do it.
It's some stuff that we go back and forth in marriage that's just not worth it. It
is not at all.
It's not even worth the disagreement. So like, let's eliminate it. That's gonna be the thing. But then there are things that you can't eliminate, like family members. Well, I don't want to say that you can eliminate family members, but we're gonna talk about that in another podcast.
Disagree with the family members.
No, but like, you don't want to just omit people at random. Yeah. So it's like, so why are we doing this? And then if the reason is we're doing this because it's important, it falls in line with our value system, or we doing this for financial gain, we doing this for health gain, whatever the thing is, and then we weigh it. And then we come to a compromise to say, if what you are saying, we done talked about this for 15 minutes, we are not coming to agreement. We got to create a third option. Yeah. So that's how we disagree.
Yeah. So, which don't happen often because it's my homie right here.
No, like, we really compatible. So we have our convictions are in line, and then so that's good. You have less arguments when you're compatible. You have less friction when you're compatible and your convictions are in line. So because Isaac know not to wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning time I go to no soup kitchen.
But I will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go pray.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
See?
So my community service, I love, let me tell y'all, I love God. I love his people. I believe in community service, but my idea of community service is not
that early.
It's not at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would do something at 10 p.m. See, they put me on the late shift because I go to the soup kitchen at 10. I go at 6 p.m. At 6 a.m. That's not my ministry. I'm not convicted about that.
And I understand that, but it's things like that you have to know, that you have to that you have to, and her feeling that way, even if I feel differently, don't make her a bad person. Don't mean she against me. Don't mean she's stopping my flow, if you will. That just means we find a space in the middle where we say, okay, cool. All right, I don't want you out the bed at 6 a.m. every day. If you're going to go and do that, so that 6 a.m. will have to be at every other serve week or whatever.
And definitely don't put me on the list for no week, because that's not the ministry we're going to do together. We'll sing together. Now you can, if it's a rehearsal that's at 6 a.m., I'm there, but not community service at 6 a.m. Yeah.
We just want to encourage y'all to look at these things, look at these concepts, and be sure that they're in place. Like for those who are searching, or talking to somebody right now, you're in a great spot to really look at these things. For those who are already married, look at these areas and find out how you can build them to the place to where these things work for your marriage. And you guys can thrive together and be better. Because marriage is better.
It's better
when you do it together.
Absolutely.
All right. So, babe, why do you love me?
This week, what did you do? Now I'm gonna say this because we got asked another question. Why do we ask each other why we love each other on the podcast? And I'll say this
because I want to know.
Because I think that too often, especially like when you've been together, we've been together for a little while, you kind of just be like, oh yeah, they love me. I know it, but we don't really take the time to smell the roses, to appreciate the acts of service. And then it can be looked at like, oh, well, you shouldn't be loving a person because they did something. That's cap. We love God because he did something.
Truly.
What did he do? He loved us first. That's why we love him. So he did something. That was an act of service. Truly. So mirror it. You love your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Yes, because they who they are. People love, oh God, you ain't got to do nothing. I worship you because of who, and you are, yes, because of who he is, but what he did too. You know what I'm saying? So I love Isaac because of who he is, but I love him because of what he do. Because he always be doing stuff.
What I do?
Okay.
What I do?
So this morning, I didn't have to get one of our 4 children ready for church. He woke me up an hour late. I had an extra hour of sleep this morning. And I didn't even know what time I woke up. But I felt refreshed. I stretched, cracked my back. And I was ready to get the kids ready. They was downstairs in the kitchen.
They was ready.
Ready and eating breakfast.
I was tired because I lost that hour.
I appreciate you. I love you for that. I love you for that. Now you love me.
I love you because you make sure that I have what I need to get up early in the morning. I got an alarm, so I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Teresa got an alarm That's at 5:05, just in case my 5 o'clock alarm don't go off. And on many occasions, the 5:05 alarm has saved my job. But it's that type of care that I see you give to every aspect of our marriage and our relationship and our children. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love you.
So sweet.
Really cool. Thank y'all for watching again. Follow us on all media platforms. Comment, share this YouTube video with somebody who is married, is looking to get married, and just wants to know more about the space. So this is the marriage to
It's your feminine spot. Yeah.
This is the Marriage Together podcast with Isaac
No, it's
and
not the Marriage Together.
It's not the Marriage Together
it's
podcast.
The marriage.
This is the Marriage is Better Together podcast.
Yes, it is.
With Isaac and
Teresa Tarver,
where we, with our life
and all of our experiences,
show you why two is definitely better than one.
See y'all next week.